What's happening? Because you know it's your boy B-Hot Radio Shout. As always, I got my podcast partner off in this thing, the original hot boy himself, Turk. What's good with it, my dog?
Still on fire. I'm on fire.
Ooh.
You dig?
I mean, Turk, we got another NO partner off in this thing,
Yeah,
though,
my brother
Dee-1.
from another.
What's good with it, boss?
Man, I feel like I'm with family right now,
You
bro.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, D, first of all, man, I mean, speaking of family times and stuff like that, you know, I saw my family member trending on TikTok, Instagram, and every blog site in the world.
Yes, sir.
Because you done got into it with Ricky Rose, the Ross, and Meek Mill, and everybody else. I mean, how did all of this stuff come about, sir?
Well, I love those brothers.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that you could get into it with people from loving them so much that I wanted to be honest with them. Just about the fact that they have massive platforms and they speak for millions in the black community. So to continually use that massive platform to glorify murder and drug dealing in their music, like what I was hearing from the recent singles that just dropped, I was just like, yo, you can do better. And I said that. And I said that on Sway in the Morning. And in me saying that, what they say, a hit dog gonna holler, you know what I mean? Because I'm saying this passionately because I'm just like, it's confusing messaging to the youth when they're like, whoa. And all I'm doing is reiterating what I said on Sway. It's confusing messaging to the youth when they're like, man, Meek Mill is the face of prison reform, but Meek Mill is also talking about getting cats murked at the red light in his new song and talking about putting a bag on people's head and all that. And when Ross is doing the same thing, it's confusing, you know? And it makes other communities not take our community seriously. So all I did was speak on that. And the fact that I spoke on, like, look, I love you too much to not be honest with you, because so many millions of people feel the way I feel, but they just intoxicated with the ignorance.
It's called a silent majority as well, too.
A silent majority, bro. And a brother like me that's just like, man, I'm here to serve God, man. Like at the end of the day, I got to read this before we get started. Matthew 10:37. If you love your father or mother more than you love me, you are not worthy of being mine. Or if you love your son or daughter more than me, you are not worthy of being mine. Brother, with that being said, these attachments that artists have to the industry, to just doing what they said people want to hear, or to doing what their record labels are requiring them to do, that means that, and I'm not just talking about those artists now, I'm talking about artists in general, that means a lot of artists who are in very popular positions and rich positions, they just rich slaves.
I think it takes growth, you know, and everybody got their time where they reach a level of where Dee-1 at, you know what I'm saying? Even me being an artist, you know, I tell people, you know, don't be influenced by what I do, be inspired to reach inside yourself to do what's inside of you, you know what I'm saying? And I think from some of the places where we grew up at, you know what I'm saying, we still have that mental picture of how we grew up, and we express ourselves and we paint these pictures, you know what I'm saying, not to necessarily glorify, because I think glorification comes in when you telling them this what you need to go do versus I'm just painting a picture. Because if you think about it, Denzel Washington, and I use this all the time, he played bad cop in Training Day. You know what I'm saying? It's a role, it's a act. When he go home, he's Denzel Washington. He's not that bad cop. And just as well as Martin and Will, they play bad boy, you know what I'm saying? So I think rappers get a more like backlash, you know what I'm saying, when they rap these lyrics. Now, you right, and I feel like give them a time in a you know, a little space to grow, because we all have to grow to be a Dee-1 in our speech, you know what I'm saying?
With all due respect, what about when you 47 years old?
That don't mean we're grown. That don't mean we're grown. That don't mean we mentally mature. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm 42 years old, you know what I'm saying? And I stand for family, you feel me? I denounced the streets, you know what I'm saying, when I came home out of prison, and I got backlash for it. The old me will be going back and forth, trying to, you know, keep my image, whatever, but I realize I got a wife. I realize I got kids. So certain things that I would normally do in these situations, I think before I react now. Everybody, no matter how old you is, 'cause I see a lot of people older than me that's rich, but mad, sad, depressed, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be more of a have you grow spiritually, mentally, you know what I'm saying, to say you a spiritual man, you know what I'm talking about? Everybody not there.
And watch this, brother. We talking about public figures who are putting out public content. Public messages deserve public responses. So we almost getting to a point in society where people saying, man, you can't even say somebody's music whack no more. Like that's hating, that's wrong, da-da-da. All I'm doing is giving commentary on content, not on people's character as a person, on content that's coming out. I'm saying, I know you better than that. I know that because y'all are amazing businessmen. And so many artists are amazing human beings off the mic, but when they get on the mic, your music reaches more people than giving away turkeys.
But don't you think sometimes it ain't what we saying, is how we saying it, you know? And not to make it about me, but I had a situation with Rick Ross, you know, and when I went to Drink Champs, you know, I said some things, and the way how I said it, when I went back and replayed it, I was like, damn, if I was any one of those guys, I'd probably feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? So when Rick Ross did respond to me, I was trending. You feel me? Rick Ross being the businessman he is, it's an opportunity for him to jump out there. And he promoting his wings and everything else he got, but he disrespected my wife. I had to swallow that. I was getting phone calls like, bro, da-da-da-da-da. I like, nah, bro. I had to take accountability for how I delivered the message, even though I was trying to be correct at my speaking, but it came out the wrong way. And I think he took it the wrong way, and that's how he responded. Sometimes it ain't what we saying, it's how we say it. You know what I'm saying?
This the part I want to make clear to everybody. I don't mind if my spirit irritates someone else's demons. That don't make me feel like I did something wrong. That make me feel like I did what God has put us here to do. In Romans 12:2, it says, don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. I'm not trying to follow the rules of what people say. You got to tiptoe around this person's feelings. People will justify evil, and people's excuse for evil is called entertainment. That's their excuse for evil nowadays. Oh, it's just entertainment. You know, man, what I heard when I press play and what everybody else is hearing is you in first person glorifying the murder of people in your own community, selling dope to people in your own community. But we want to run behind, one, don't say nothing about that person's art in public. Don't say that out loud. You should have hit them up one-on-one. Or two, we want to say, man, that's just entertainment. That ain't real. I was telling Beehive before we started, there's a difference between glorification, narration, and education.
Correct.
When cats are glorifying something, that puts it on a pedestal to where it's like, this behavior right here, this ain't out of survival mode. This is me already being up. I'm already winning in life financially, but I'm still choosing to glorify and make this behavior seem admirable. Narration is when you're talking about what you've seen as a youngin', you heard me? When you're talking about what you've seen and you like, man, coming up in that Noya, you heard me? Like this what it was like. Coming up in the east side, you heard me? Coming up in the Goose, this what it was like in New Orleans, da-da-da-da. Education is when you saying, man, I might have used to been doing this stuff, but I'm about to educate y'all to show y'all how I got up hundreds of millions of dollars now and how I really was able to, you know, overcome all them odds that were stacked against me.
And I agree completely with everything you just said and how you broke all those down. We like I say, we illustrate, don't mean we demonstrate. You know what I'm saying? And when we rapping these things, we trying to relate to a certain audience. You know what I'm talking about? When we are spitting these rhymes, you have your audience, he have his audience, she have her audience. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have their own audience, and whatever they audience pays for, I believe that's what people as an artist deliver. I don't think some people are necessarily that person that they're given to them people? Because if they was, man, I did 8 years, 8 months, 16 days in the penitentiary for something that was real that I did. You know what I'm saying? Do you still think it's glorification to the point where they saying, come on, we about to ride tonight. After I finish in this studio, I'm about to go kill something. Is it the responsibility of the people that's listening and the parents who are allowing their kids to listen to grown folks' music? Because it do say parental advisory. You know what I'm saying? The last time I checked. We all got to hold ourselves accountable. Not saying that it's right, not saying that it's wrong, but we got to give each other a time to grow. You know what I'm saying? Dee-1, you're a phenomenal person and a rapper, you know, and I think you can be probably a little judgmental to a lot of people how you deliver it. You know what I'm saying? I can understand you because I have bulletproof emotions. You know what I'm saying? I'm a spiritual person, so I know you're coming from a spiritual place. But what about those people who are not there? Because it took me to grow here. You know what I'm saying? So just consideration in that, like because we all hold a responsibility. We all got to hold ourselves accountable for we say, including me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm speaking from experience of how I've been dealing with, you know, high-profile individuals and not taking a chance, because I could have responded back when, you know, he disrespected my wife. You feel me? I could have told my homeboy, yeah, man, whatever, you know what I'm talking about? But I took that on the chin because I know my intentions of what I was saying and why I was saying it. And I let it ball down, and I even reached out to homie, you know what I'm saying? So evidently, he didn't want to talk. So I took that as a cool, you know what I'm saying? I see where me and him stand at as human beings. I'm on this level, he on that level. He got his blow in. I didn't intend to blow on him. But if that's what he think, he got to deal with that, you feel me? So sometimes, man, we just got to let it go. But what happens when you go back and forward? Do you become any better or any different from what they are doing?
Right. It's very important, if there is continued ongoing dialogue, to not turn it into just trying to make fun of people. Like, for example, the response that was given to me having that video was just a response that I chuckled at it. You know, I found it funny. You know, I sipped some apple juice and I got a good laugh out of it. I was like, I got two new nicknames. I got called Basket Head. You hear me? I got called.
I can't with you, D.
I got called Lil Man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, the Lil Man did it.
Lil Man was funny.
6'2", but
yeah.
That Lil Man did it.
And my New Orleans accent.
But
you
he
heard me?
is
I
a big
heard
guy, so you know, Lil Man.
But I
guy,
serve a bigger God though. You know what I mean? So you know, it's like we both Lil Man compared to the God that created us both.
Yeah.
So if you had to say it any difference on how you delivered it on Sway, looking back at it now, would you change the way you delivered it? You stand on the way you deliver it, and he got to deal with it. This is what I stand. This what I stand on business.
I said the individuals' names. I said, I love you too much to not be honest with you. Then I said their names, and I said, brother, I love you too much to not be honest with you. I reiterated that. Then the one individual who chose to let emotions and ego, I think, like dictate their response to me, that person, I didn't even go in detail about them. I went in detail talking about the brother Meek Mill, you know, and shout out to Meek Mill.
Shout out to Meek.
You know why?
Yeah.
Shout out to Meek Mill because Meek responded as well. Meek reposted the video clip where I was primarily talking about him, and I quote myself. All I said was, yo, if you the face of prison reform, I said, are you the face of prison reform or are you glorifying murder in your new song, you know, that you just dropped? I said, well, like, which one is it, brother? I said, because, like, I was proud of you, you know, coming out of jail and the stances that you have taken and the growth that you've shown in so many aspects of your life. And I got nephews who listen to you. I got youth that I work with all across this country who listens to you, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so I said that Meek's response, I got to applaud him because he responded and he was honest, number one. Even if I disagreed with his stance, he was honest, and he didn't reply with emotion or ego.
Yeah.
He replied and said, nah, we do everything, LOL. basically saying I could be the face of prison reform and I could glorify murder in my music. He was like, I've been rapping this way since before I was the face of reform. He was like, y'all forgot that fast? So, and that's what that was. You know, in terms of you know, anyone else responding, I know me saying people's names, would I say it any differently? You know what's interesting is that the more important conversation is about the principle and not the person. Mm-hmm. The principle right here is that I'm drawing a line. This is good. I want people to hear this.
I'm with you.
Right now, for the first time in a long time, I'm drawing a line in the sand in the hip-hop industry. And all I'm doing is simply drawing that line and saying, what side of the line are people on? If you stand for and want to represent righteousness, then you're on this side of the line. And if you want to represent evil and negativity, then you're on that side of the line. I'm still not judging you if you're on that side, but let's draw that line. Because you know what God hates more than people on either side of that line? God hates people who are lukewarm.
Yeah.
That's in the word. And the whole industry is lukewarm at this point.
Yeah.
And that's the issue, is all I'm doing is drawing a line behind Turk. And because I'm drawing a line and being like, let's dissect what's actually being put out there right now and what we are consuming. I'm asking fans, pick what side of the line y'all are on too. And me drawing that line is making a lot of people uncomfortable because now they're like, man, this whole industry is lukewarm and we was very comfortable right there. And this is making people uncomfortable.